Hey, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Beautiful Minds podcast. My name is Marlon Dundas, and today's episode is with Kimberly Peters of the Brooklyn Community Services Center. Kimberly works directly with the within the Seth Lowe Center, which is underneath the umbrella of the Brooklyn Community Services Center. And in today's episode, she discusses why it's important to consider community service and activism when discussing the Black Millennial. We go into her personal initiative. We go into what motivates her to do what she does for a living, and we go into the first point: why it's important to give back to local communities and inner city programs to develop kids who are from underdeveloped, underfunded neighborhoods. And it's our attempt to look at this month's theme from as many different sides and angles as we possibly can. So Greg Carrington, who has done his part or is lending a hand to add a video aspect to the podcast, knows Kimberly very well, and it was actually through him that I was able to reach out and contact her and have her on the podcast ultimately. Greg was in the room. Greg was also the reason why we were able to provide video for this particular podcast. So, and he shared his knowledge about why it's important from his angle as well. So, very intellectually sound and very nuanced conversation we were able to have, and I feel like it's going to help a lot of people by putting it out there. So without further ado, here is Greg Carrington and Kimberly Peters.
You're listening to the Beautiful Minds podcast.
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 The Beautiful Minds podcast with Marlon Dundas.
So I'm here with Greg Carrington.
Hello, guys.
Kimberly Peters. And my name is Marlon Dundas. This is the Beautiful Minds podcast. Today's episode, we continue to focus on the Black Millennial for the month of February, Black History Month 2018. And we focus today on activism and social work in the community. Today we have Kimberly Peters of the Brooklyn Community Services. Okay.
Yes.
In the Seth Lowe Center.
Yeah.
Kimberly, would you kindly do me a solid and explain what Brooklyn Community Services is?
It's okay. So it could be a tongue tie. So Brooklyn Community Services has years of experience in the Brooklyn borough, over 100 years. So we kind of really know our stuff. So what we offer, we do like mental health counseling, early childhood. We do after school, youth development. We do beacon programs. We have family services, and the list can just go on and on and on. We try to basically anything that's happening within Brooklyn, any type of Black, we try our best to just provide services. Like when Sandy hit Coney Island, we in the surrounding areas, we made sure to step in and try to get services and social workers out there to provide services for that particular lack that they had.
Wow.
And we recently got the grant from DYCD, which is its Department of Youth and Community Development, to basically run a cornerstone program. So Brooklyn Community Services, we actually have about 4 cornerstones, and I'm working at Seth Lowe in Brownsville. Now, Seth Lowe is an amazing community center. It's located in the Brownsville area, like I said before, and that's basically like a tight-knit community, really compassionate people and families. I know sometimes on the news we hear about, the murder capital. It's people are killing, and yes, there are some things that are not great about the community. However, there are people that still live in that community that still could need those assistance. So we are there to basically help out, but not necessarily take over, but more so strengthen what they already have.
What's your title exactly?
So I'm the director there. I basically oversee all the programs that we have at Seth Lowe. I work with an amazing team of activity specialists, resident associations, all the community centers that are surrounding. So I don't do it alone, but I definitely am right now directing it and making sure that it's something that it will be legendary and the kids feel like this is a place where they're comfortable.
Right.
Like this is their Disneyland.
Yeah. Are you? Do you have any partners per se? So I know you said that this is one of the cornerstone programs, Seth Lowe being one of them. What are the other cornerstone programs?
So the other cornerstone programs we have one in Farragut, which is located, it's right
Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, just around there. And then we have 2 in Coney Island. We have one on Surf and one a little bit further down.
Okay. Why would you decide to associate yourself with the Seth Lowe Center?
Yeah, so basically my personality is fun, it's loving, it's a balls of fun, to be quite honest. Right. And Brownsville has this energy about them, this resilience about that community that I said, I really want to be a part of this. I really love what's going on. I did a lot of church work there. My church is grounded in Brownsville, and I've been going there since I was 8 years old. So I have a strong connection to Brownsville, and I feel like I had the personality to also understand the people and understand those people who were basically the lawmakers, basically those who were trying to put services for that community center. It wouldn't just be, okay, well, this is what we think they should do. It's like, no. It has to come from the people, what they feel is best for them. Because sometimes sometimes people could just come in and they see something and they say, you know what, I don't understand it, so I want to change it. So what we try to do is not necessarily change the people of Brownsville, but we change the circumstances.
Right, but I mean, you're essentially a bridge between 2 different worlds. Right?
Correct.
But why? Why do that? What motivated you to step out and become a leader in that sense? Were you born and raised in Brownsville?
So I was not born and raised in Brownsville. My family, they're Caribbean. Big up Jamaica, Trinidad, and Grenada, and all the other Caribbean islands. I'm giving them a big shout out. One of the main thing is that my mom was full of service. Everybody in my family did something that had to do with service. So my mom was a home health aide. My father was a mechanic. My brother is in the Army. My other brother, he's a firefighter. My sister, she works in the mental in a hospital. So we are a family of service, and we just love that. So that was instilled in me from since I was a young girl, that whatever you have, you must share it. So whatever knowledge I got from school, I went to school. I was fortunate enough to go to high school, graduate early, get an associate's degree, get a bachelor's degree, and then get 2 masters. But what do I do with that? Do I just have that under my belt just to say, okay, boom, I have all these I have all these degrees and these letters behind my name, but it means nothing if I do not help people. So I think that one of the greatest requirements that my mom taught me was not only to just get those degrees, was also that you're going to use it to help others. So I found this perfect area of Brownsville. We started going to church there as I was a young girl. Like I told you, I was there since I was 8 years old, and just growing up in that environment, doing different things, having friends that lived in that area, just being, just loving what I seen, and not always hearing the negativity, because you can hear so much negative things about Brownsville that makes you want to say, oh, I don't want to go there. That's okay. I'll skip that stop. But it's not what is displayed on the media. These are loving people. They're people that's there that they want to see better for their family, and they're willing to do whatever it takes.
Right.
And I love that resilience. I love to see people that are not necessarily given a fair shot, but being able to get the opportunity to still do things, like still want to send your kid to college, still wake up to go to school, still want to write your resume, just want to be doing things, although your environment is saying you shouldn't.
Right. I think more specifically to what the theme of the entire month is, like I know you come in contact with a lot of Black millennials.
Of course.
Your time.
Yeah.
And speaking from experience, they're mostly misunderstood.
Yeah.
Can you speak on that? Through your experiences, what is the average Black millennial like that comes through the Seth Lowe Center?
So, like you said, misunderstood. The lingo, people don't understand it.
Yeah.
The aggression in their voice, they don't understand it. They don't know if they're mad. They don't know if they're happy. They don't know, when, the camera, the phone, why they're in it, the distance. But those young children need love too. When a young man comes into the center, you tell him, listen, one time we took the kids, we said, listen, we're going to the Barclays. I want you to dress up nice. I want you to dress nice. That was only the directives he was given. So his dressing up nice is a pair of jeans, some Jordans, and his favorite t-shirt, and a blue do-rag. But the blue do-rag matched his sneakers. And so he put it all together. But when he came in, people were like, well, why you dress like that? But I had to remind people that that's his best. That's what he came in thinking, that this is what's dressing nice. But I embrace that because it shows effort. It shows that there is something that we need to understand about this generation, that what I'll dress nice may be different from what their dressing nice means. So it's just all about language. It's all about lingo. It's all about just really understanding who they are, and that to remember that these are children, that they need to be cultivated. So now what do you tell the young man who has a do-rag on, his sneakers, and you say, you know what, brother, that looks beautiful. I love what you have on. However, I want to show you a different way to dress. I want to show you different button-down ties. I want to show you a tie. I want to show you shoes. I want to show you a jacket. It saddens me sometimes that when young Black millennials dress up really nice, some people ask them, hey, you going to court? Or, yes, when you dress nice, it's like, you going to court? And it's like, no, I'm not going to court. I'm actually dressing up to go to a job. So just teaching them that there's different ways to be who you are. I think one of the things is that a lot of times people talk down to them, and you have to understand you cannot talk down, especially to a young Black man. You have to make sure that he feels respected, that he feels loved, and that it's coming from a great place.
Now, you said a lot there.
Yes, I did.
You said a lot. Like for me, speaking from experience, I remember coming from a predominantly Asian and Caucasian junior high school. There was like 5 Black kids in that school. And I remember we knew each other. We all knew each other.
Of course.
No matter where we came from, some of us came from the worst neighborhoods. I didn't come from a very bad neighborhood at all. And we kind of formed this bond, even though a lot of us didn't speak to each other, but we see each other in the hallway. What's up? Yeah. We didn't even know each other's names. I didn't know half of their names. I just knew that, you looked like me and automatically associated.
Yeah.
And that sense of community, it wore on me a little bit. It made me start looking for more people who look like me, because I realized that the higher up I got in life, I saw less and less of people who looked like me.
Exactly.
Now, are there any programs through the Seth Lowe Center, or that you know of too, that try to bring kids from their inner city towards an environment such as that, because an environment like Brownsville and an environment like an inner city high school creates a reality that's not real outside. It's a bubble, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have anything, I guess it's a reverse racism is an oxymoron. But is it a reverse inclusion type initiative where you can get kids outside of that comfort zone,
outside of their own community?
Yeah, because you know, like what changed my life was I had a mentor back throughout high school, and he told me one day, he goes, "Hey, I want you to come and visit me visit me at my job." And his job was in the financial district of New York City.
Yeah.
I never knew where it was. I remember asking him at 13, like, "Where's that?" Like, I don't know what that was. He goes, you don't know where Wall Street is?" I'm like, "I mean, I've heard of it. Like, I don't know where it's at."
Yeah.
So he gave me the address. I showed up, and he goes, "Just find the building." He didn't even he knew that I was not going to know how to get to the building.
Exactly.
But he knew that I also never been around this neighborhood before.
Exactly.
So he made me walk around the neighborhood.
Amazing.
And I walked around the neighborhood, and I remember looking around like, whoa, there's nobody who looks like me here. And I finally saw people who looked like me, but they were security guards, then cleaning people, or UPS or delivery man or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, it hit me so hard. And then I went upstairs, and I finally got past the stingy black people at the front desk who were just like, "Where are you going? You don't belong in here." Like, I'm gonna come in. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to meet yada yada yada." And they're like,
"Who in the back for the uniform?" Open the doors.
Exactly. They were like, "Where are you going?" Like, 'cause remember, I went to Bishop Ford, which is like Catholic schools. I had my suit and tie, my shirt and tie on, and they were like, "You gotta call him." Like, I remember looking at him like, "Wow, like, what happened? You gotta call him." And I remember calling him, and I gave her the phone, the security guard at the front desk, and he said send you right up. Came up, and I saw, like, it was like Wolf of Wall Street environment time.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting there, and one other black guy sitting in that room too, and he kept on like looking at me like, "What are you doing here?" I'm the token black guy in the room, and it was weird because like it wasn't normal. And it changed my life. It really did. At 13 years old, it changed my life. I've never seen the world the same way ever again. Because not only was it a smack in the face from reality, but now I know, hey, like, what's the difference between where I'm at now and where I can be?
And where it can be.
Just that they know that this exists and I don't.
Exactly. So we have a YMI. It's called the Young Men's Initiative. And what they do is that they try to get mentors from all over New York City. Right now, we have somebody from the mayor's office that basically speaks to the young men about just like different careers. And so a lot of people like, okay, well, he went around the room like, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? And, it's the typical, basketball player. I want to be a rapper. I want to be an entrepreneur, but don't really know what you're going to be an entrepreneur.
When I was in junior high school, they asked me, "What do you want to do?" Because we were choosing high schools, and I said football player. And I remember Miss Cooper. I never forget her.
You never forget Miss Cooper
from Georgia, from down south.
She gave you a reality check.
"What else do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know." She goes.
And that also stems from what we see televised as youth.
Exactly.
People that look like us.
They're on the TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're on the TV screen.
That's what it looks like we can only do.
Right. That's what's shown to me.
That's how I can get money.
Right. That's the only way success can come to me.
Exactly.
Is because, and then also it's true because when you look at television, what's televised is you see a lot of other people that are doctors, lawyers, have households with, large income, and they're doing everything else. But when we turn on the television, the only other time you'll see, let's say, like a black professional would be in a black sitcom. And we don't have a description of what their job is.
Exactly.
As youth coming up. The only time you see that is rappers, football.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the media,
And so what the guy tries to do, his name is Jed, what he really tries to do is he teaches them about different things. Like, well, you can be an engineer. And they're like, engineer?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is what you need to do just to be an engineer. He tells you the basics of this is how much college you need. This is how much, graduate school you need. And then you can be an engineer. You can make this amount of money.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow. He taught them the other day about debit and credit.
Yeah.
They had no clue, like no idea. And you would think they're in high school that, okay, they know the difference, but and he was taught, he's a Caucasian man, he was taught about credit and debit when he was a teenager by his father. So his father got him a credit card and showed him how to manage it. But we're not shown that. So guess what happens? So a lot of us have bad credit because when we start getting credit and on our own, we start maxing it out. We start going crazy. So to answer your question, is that we bring people in and then we do try to take them out to different trips to kind of expose them that there is Manhattan. Like, I know that you're, further out, there's more to this. There's more to New York than just this 3 train stop or these 4 blocks. There's more to it. So we try our best to bring people in to show them that there are different people out in this world that are doing great things. I even asked Greg to come to show them, and he took some photography, and another young man, Phil, he came and they took some photography, and they was like, you can get money doing that? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. You can get money. He was like, just taking pictures? I was like, yeah, you can. So just exposing them and seeing other young Black professionals doing things, and not just women, because they always see women
in your lives, and women in my life are talking through everything.
Exactly. So I try to bring in young Black professionals and people from different races as well, so they can see too how to speak as well. Like, that's not your boss just because he's another color. Like, right. You can articulate yourself, and you don't have to say, "Oh, he the ops," or he's not against you. You can talk. Similar to you, he will understand what you're saying as well.
Right, got you. That's, like I said, like for me, I remember being put in that position where I'm like, so like, what? On the way home that day, I'm thinking to myself like, so like, how did I miss this?
Right.
How did I miss this whole setup? Like,
because they only show you a certain part.
Yeah.
Right.
Then, and like, as an activist, right, as someone who's very active in the community, what relationship does the media play in the perception of the people who you're most concerned about?
Of course, the media is like the biggest tool on how young people see themselves right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of times what they see or what's glorified is this guy, he got locked up, free Johnny. Mm-hmm. And it's like, free Johnny?
Why was Johnny in jail in the first place?
Like, Johnny did it.
What did Johnny do?
We don't know who Johnny is or what he did.
Johnny did it.
Yeah.
And some young people are not even given a chance. And the media plays against both cultures.
Yeah.
Whether it may be those that are not people of color. They play against that. These people, they're not going to be able to do anything. They try to put this scare tactic out. Oh, they're scary. They're gorillas. They this.
And the side effect to that too is because if I've never met a Black person. If I don't live around a Black individual, my only experience of Black people is through the media.
Yeah.
Even as an individual, as a Black person, if I am surrounded by non-Blacks and I'm the only Black person I know.
Right.
And I see my people or, the people of my race and how they're behaving as the media puts them up. I'd be a little concerned about being around Black people or giving Black people a chance as well.
Yeah, recently, it's funny you guys brought that up. Recently, I'm not sure, I didn't share this on social media, but China's main, I guess people call it like MTV, broadcasting network, banned hip hop.
Wow.
It banned hip hop, and the statement was that it was detrimental to their culture.
To the youth.
And it's not
To their
hip hop's
culture.
fault.
To the culture.
It's not.
It's not hip hop's fault.
It's the portrayal.
It's the portrayal of hip hop. Hip hop is not all that. And I remember I was listening to a podcast. It was an NPR podcast with Bob Johnson, the creator of BT, and he was saying, all this booty shaking. I'm not responsible for it. I just posted it because that's what our producers and directors wanted to post at the time, and I'm responsible for that. And I'm looking at him like, so you just absolved yourself of all wrongdoing on any part of any of this. But the Black Entertainment Television Network is one of the biggest perpetuators of that type of stereotype. That stereotype.
Responsibility.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And MTV and all of the networks that's under the Viacom umbrella, as far as I'm concerned, perpetuate some subsection of an overarching culture that's not 100% accurate. And now you see a bunch of, even down to country music enthusiasts being hick rednecks. You see anybody listen to rap, like girl got a fat butt and the guy's got to be a ball player.
Yeah.
Like if you're a pop star, then you gotta be half naked dancing, whatever. And you see that, and it's like they shape the narrative that people like in a culture. But if you're in a culture like China where everything's controlled, everything is already limited in how you
view the outside world.
Yeah.
Your only consumption of it is through music.
Through a small lens, through a very small. And when I was there, I remember being asked the most silly questions.
China?
Yeah, I was in China.
Oh, wow.
And I was asked the most silly questions. Can I dunk was one of them.
Wow.
Am I a football player was another.
Wow.
How many girlfriends do you have is another.
Wow.
And I don't blame anybody in China for that. I blame where I'm from, and it's here. I blame my own people for that, because we see it happening, we continue to perpetuate it.
Oh, yeah.
And it falls out of people like you now to have to pick up the pieces and like, hey, hold on, like,
and try to fix that.
And there's deeper levels to that as well.
Of course,
everything goes deeper, but I do say that we do definitely play a part in that to continue, because it's there's a point where we have to check ourselves. Yes, we grew up seeing this,
right?
And yes, this is how we were taught,
right?
But now we've come to the age now
where you need to figure out,
conscious of like, all right, this is not.
Where's my place in all of that? And that's what I wanted. Why I want to continue to have these type of discussions, because I don't want to point the finger. I want to see what I as a person can do. Like how? Because I remember back in the day, Lil Wayne was one of my favorite rappers. What in the world do me and Lil Wayne have in common with each other? Nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Correct.
And it's like, it was just because that was what was hot,
I was looking at something on Facebook the other day. It was like a race, and it was between blacks and whites, and he was trying to make a some type of analogy so people can kind of understand. And he was like, keep going. He kept on saying different things in your life, right? In your life.
He's like, whoever grew up with a father in the home, take a step forward.
Yeah.
He's like, whoever
went to jail and you've
right, like you
stay back, don't move. Yeah.
So then, go ahead.
So then at the end of it, it showed the majority of the students
who won the race were people who were white. Look like us, right?
Yeah, they were white people.
And then some, and it was so sad because what happened is the camera panned back to the line where they started. Some kids never even left the line.
Oh my God!
They were still in the back.
They were still there. Yeah. So all those things happened to them. So they weren't able to win that race.
Yeah.
So I bring it to that was listen, so there is a lack in our community. It really is a lack. And sometimes we weren't able, this race wasn't for us to win. That's how I feel sometimes. So in order to combat that, we have to put in services, young people, young men and women who did get a degree, who has the knowledge. We definitely have to spread it to the younger generation, because those are the ones that are coming up and looking at these like you were saying, these BET, looking up to Puffy, looking up to Lil Wayne, and nothing's wrong with looking up to a rapper. However, if you never become a rapper, you never become a football player, like your teacher said, Miss Cooper, what else can you do?
And I think that's important as well. Like, there's a place for that.
Yeah.
Because that is us as well.
Yeah.
Rap is us. We do have amazing athletes.
Right.
There's a place for that.
Right.
And not to demean any of those things, football, basketball, rap music, anything else that, you know.
But not to cut you off. In order to really be a basketball player, football player, and a rapper,
right.
To be quite honest, there's certain bodies.
I'm 5'5", 100 at that point. I was 5'1", 110 pounds.
Right.
She looked at me. She's like, "Brother, come on."
You have to be really amazing at that sport. That means day in, day out, really staying in the
from Georgia.
Right.
Like, Georgia has some of the most. It's like a
football farm.
It's a factory for athletes.
Right.
She's seen kids who look like me, like at that point in the 3rd grade, and I was in the 8th grade at that point. Like,
because some of those people are being drafted from since they are like little kids, and they're real. And I'm not saying that kids from the inner city cannot attain to that. But okay,
there's a place for it.
If you do not have those things, God forbid you break your leg or whatever, what else can you do? Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody today about this. There's an ESPN 30 for 30 documentary called Broke. And something like 82%, something like that, of NFL players after they retire from the league go broke.
Wow.
72% of NBA players go broke. Like 57% of MLB, and like it goes lower and lower as it gets more and more.
Different colors.
Yeah. Right. And those people who are retiring, the careers only last, the average NFL career is like 2 years, 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but they're having children, and they clearly can't handle their finances. They clearly don't have the tools and the resources necessary, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, to withstand any of these situations. And now they're having kids, and they're going back into that same cycle, and that cycle is happening over again. And people like Kimberly,
right?
We're definitely.
It all falls down to you to be like, hey, there's a different way,
There is. And we try to just show them that there's a different way, and just opening up their minds to different things. Like, we want to have where they just take classes on how to eat, when you go to, I was trying to get the word, but, just sit down and how you use a knife and fork, and they have different knives and forks, and they have different plates, and just doing the kids, they love it. Right. People think that this generation, they don't want to learn anything new. They really do.
It's opportunity.
Yeah, right. They really want to learn. Yeah, they really want to. And they're not given the chance because people look at them and say, oh, no, they don't want nothing.
Right.
And it's like, no, I've even heard sometimes my workers, I have to say, oh, no, you got to change that. You can't say they don't want anything. You have to put it out there. You have to be excited to say it. Because if somebody's giving you food and they kind of looking grudgingly with it and slopping it on your plate, you're going to be like, oh, no, I don't want it. Yeah, free. Yeah. Right. So you have to present it to them that it's something great. This is something that you should know when you're out in public, when you're at dinner. Right. Even like, okay, when you see a young lady coming by, do you whistle at her? Do you say, mwah, mwah, mwah? Or do you just say,
I've heard worse, but
I didn't want to say it. Hey, yo. Or they saying, hey, yo. So I just let them know that, there's other ways, and they really do. They love it. And when they come back to the community center, they feel like this is family. This is home. This is some place they get to go. Because I didn't get to tell you that the community center stays open till 10 p.m. during the school year.
Wow, okay.
And during the summertime, it stays open until 11 p.m. So people can write their papers, like if they want to come. Sometimes we just have computer classes on how you actually get onto the computer, not only Facebook, not only Instagram, but we show you different programs, different things that you can get on. We even taught them about like little library things, just learning about to work,
Right.
a hard day's work, just really trying to expose our young people, not to just, the cops are bad. We have a basketball league right now, and they basically play with the police.
Mm-hmm.
The police plays with them and, basically provides them with jerseys and shows them that, listen, not all police officers are the same. We do have different roles. Not all of us are going to come and just, and ask you, where's your ID? They start creating a relationship with the young men. So when they see them out on the street, they can say, hey, Marlon, you outside? Come on, go inside, brother. And that connection comes.
Yeah, there's a push. There's been a push lately to promote neighborhood policing, where it's the same police officer. So know these families, you know these kids, and now it's meant to give off a sense of community now within the old adage of it takes a village
to raise a child.
Now the law enforcement community becomes part of that village as well.
Right, because a lot of the police that police these neighborhoods
aren't from there.
Correct. They're from places where they're not surrounded or have, some of them may have not, I'm just saying, have prior experience, with other Black people. So, for them to come into a neighborhood, and then don't forget, Kim, when the police officers came, because we have at our church police officers that come, they told, when he got selected to come work, I forget the officer's name, in Brownsville, the whole room just looked at him like, sweat, you're going to Brownsville. So he's never been to Brownsville. He's not from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So for him now, all of his colleagues are like, oh, shoot, brother, you're going to Brownsville.
Like you're going down.
So for him now, his expectation is already preset in his mind.
Yeah.
So, and then he's probably watching, he's watching the news.
Of course.
He's reading the newspaper.
The statistics.
So as to your point, Marlon, if you can get police that will be able to stay in the same neighborhoods and do that neighborhood policing, they'll get to say, all right, hey, look, no, that's George. We know George.
Yeah.
Right. George is not a bad kid. He's just having some trouble at home, XYZ, we know him.
Right.
So that would help.
Greg brought up the Bethesda Healing Center.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I know that you do similar work through Bethesda. Do you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, I work with the young people. Same demographic, same thing as, so I leave one job from Cephalo on Friday.
I'm helping go to another one.
To going back. So I work with young ladies, teens, ages 15 to about 16.
Yeah.
And we just get the opportunity to come and just talk about life, talk about struggles, and how we can make this place better. We have went to shelters, teen shelters, to basically see other young people and try to help them out, and to see that there are people that are less fortunate than you. Because sometimes, our kids could be, some of them could be some are fortunate, and just to see other young people that are struggling, they don't have their mother, they don't have their father in their life, and here you are, you're going to high school, you got the latest Jordans on, meanwhile this person is struggling, and it was great to just see them work in that environment. So and then we work with some of the young men. Greg works with some of the young men, taking them out and just bringing them under his wing and showing them a lot how you dress, how you put it together. Because I tell you, sometimes their best dress is their newest sneaker, their t-shirt, and a pair of jeans. And just showing our young people different things that just making them exposed. I think that's the biggest thing, having that connection, because at the end of our lives, we want to wake up and say that, I made a difference in this life.
Right.
Somebody, I would love for young people to come back to me and say, listen, by just you letting me know that what I said or how I looked wasn't appropriate. Now, I was able to see now, and now this helped me.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like why I do it, why I kind of want to keep, and the church is also in Brownsville too, like we mentioned. And so it just keeps the connection between what I do at work and what I do at church.
Right. So in closing, what can we do to help you and help to join this movement? I mean, I feel like you can't, coming from whoever's listening to this, you have a privilege, and you clearly have a mindset that which you are looking to do something, right? Or at least you're interested in it. What can anyone listening or anyone interested in helping, what can they do to join you and to make the world a better place?
I think in order to really do this work and to be a part of this movement, you really have to have a heart of compassion. You really have to really want something to change the atmosphere of what's going on right now in our world. So if you have a heart and you have a passion and you really want to see different for young people that are coming up behind us, I definitely would say to join different organizations, be a mentor to the YMI. You definitely can definitely look on wearebcs.org. They definitely have opportunities for people to be a part of this great thing in history, because it's going to be a point where these same young people will either be the one that's going to hit you over the head and take your stuff, or they're going to be that young person that's going to walk you across that street when you're not able to walk.
Right. So it's a great exclamation point to the conversation. I would love to take part and to help in any way that I could.
Yes. I'll take you. I'm going to take you at your word.
No, you should. I mean, I'm one of those kids.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kids that somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, I can help you."
Yeah.
Or here, not even I can help you. All he did was just sit next to me and watch me work.
Yeah.
That was it. Like there was no anything else. There was no holding my hand or anything. It was.
That's amazing.
Let me just show you
great
what my reality is. And then I haven't gotten into going to his apartment, like going to his neighborhood.
Wow.
Not his apartment, going to his neighborhood, where for the first time in my life, I felt like I wasn't in danger as I walked down the street.
Wow.
I wasn't feeling like I had to look behind me as I'm walking down the street, because everybody, like the neighborhood just seemed so different.
Yeah.
And seeing that reality is possible. And it's something that somewhere along my path, I missed it up until that point. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is like the first really deep dive into the Black Millennial. So today we focus on community service and activism. Thank you so much, Kimberly Peters.
Thank you so much for having me.
And my new cameraman, Greg Carrington.
Yes.
Thank you guys.